I'm going to move to Europe now, and Robert is in Vienna, I believe. And ADF, just for those who don't know, is an organization that defends freedom, including parental rights. It's not specifically a homeschool organization, but I'll let Robert tell us a little bit more about the ADF story and his place in it, and how he deals with specifically with human resources and hiring.
That's a lot of big questions. Well, yeah, thank you, Peter. Maybe just to start with ADF briefly. ADF started in the US and started life just over 25 years ago as the Alliance Defence Fund. And what the Alliance Defence Fund did was act as essentially a grant-making vehicle for lawyers to represent people who found themselves in difficulty because of essentially a desire to live in accordance with what they believed. So parents who wanted to homeschool, or people who wanted to pray with a colleague, as some of those early examples. And of course, time went on, the challenges grew, and the need grew. And there came a time that ADF realized, well, instead of just making grants to lawyers sort of out there to take some of these cases, wouldn't it make sense to bring some of those lawyers in-house and have them working all day, every day on these cases, which might A, save some money and let them do more cases, and B, also let them develop real expertise in these areas. And that's what ADF did, and in time ADF became Alliance Defending Freedom. And then in many ways, I'm part of sort of the next step in that journey, which was a look beyond the borders of the US to realize that actually as much as ADF's needed in the US, there is a similar, and arguably in some places, perhaps even a greater need for an organization like ADF, which engages with some of the issues that we see in culture today, but from a legal perspective. And we know that's not the only perspective. We know that we need humanitarian work, we need reform of certain educational provisions, we know that we need parents to be able to play their role and have their rights respected in countries in Europe where it is a criminal offense to homeschool, for example. So there's a real need out there. And so I'm part of ADF International, which is headquartered in Vienna. It's a partner organization of ADF in the US. And so we have a close working relationship. Our CEO is Mike Farris, who founded HSLDA. And so homeschooling it has always been an important issue to us, but I think it's fair to say that's never going to be far from the front of our minds. It's just very much in the DNA of our organization, and we've had some successes. We have had some encouraging stories. There are organizations that have been facilitated. There are parents who have successfully challenged state interference, and we've also had some setbacks. And I think it's important to share that, because there are challenges. There are issues that people face, and I think if we just pretend that this is always easy, and if we pretend that everyone has a really straightforward time with it, then I think it discourages those who start taking steps down this path and then encounter some opposition. You feel like, well, should it be this hard? And is it like this for everyone? And the answer is it's not like this for everyone, but it is like this for others. And that's why I think organizations like HSLDA, like GHEX, and hopefully like ADF International, as well as some of the other organizations that I know represented in this webinar and this webinar series, are so important. In essence, I want to support you. I want ADF to be a resource for parents and for organizations that are trying to promote and facilitate homeschooling. And we focus very much on the legal side of things. So if you're interested in guidance with curriculums or guidance with issues relating to pedagogy and so on, ADF is probably not going to be a good port of call for you. But if it's on the legal side, and particularly if it's legal difficulties that a family has run into, or a homeschooling group or collective, or even at the more structural level, so homeschooling laws, that's something that we follow very, very closely alongside our allies and our partners around the world.